Good evening, everyone. Could you be seated? So good evening, everyone. We're about to open up the mics to anyone who would like to come forth and say something in reminiscence of a friend, a brother, a father, a loved one. So feel free to come forth and speak from the heart.
She's outside still.
Alright. I'm gonna start this without her. But just want to say, family and friends, I want to thank everyone for making the trip out here. Come pay respects to my father. Thank you for your friendship, for all the love. And on behalf of the whole Gwyn family, I'd like to say thank you very much. For everyone that's came here in person and everyone that's here virtually, that's logging in to check this out. I'd like to start with an opening prayer. I looked this up and it says strengthening prayer. I kind of think right now that's, what most everyone needs, some strength to kind of get through this. So, dear God, we begin this funeral ceremony with heartfelt prayer for your strength. Everyone in this room is grieving the loss of this much-loved person. Some people are weakened by anguish and loss. Others are battling sleep deprivation or emotional stress. Use the powerful to encourage and support the weak among us. Above all, serve us as our refuge today, as family and friends gather to say their final goodbyes to our lost loved one. Assist them in remaining strong. With your grace, assist them. Amen. Amen. Auntie, would you like to come up and say some words?
I'm gonna walk on my own. On my own. On my own. Hello, everyone. During this difficult time, we can always bring our hopes and our fears to God. He knows our pain we experience in life, and He knows how to comfort us. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Looking out and seeing all these faces and loved ones, dear friends, I know my brother was loved and was loved by everyone here. I love my brother more than anything. And how he looked up to me will always be a blessing in my heart. Being the oldest of 6 children, Jesse being the 5th born, we came to New York in 1960. He was 10 years old. We grew up on this little street called Sandy Level, Route 6, Box 452. We lived near all our family, our cousins, our grandmothers. Everyone lived on the same road. We went to church together. As a matter of fact, the church only consists of the Gwyn family and other members of family friends that we had growing up. Come to New York and lived in Brooklyn for a while. Jesse went to school at Stitt Junior High School. We always remember that school because if any of y'all remember Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, that's where they went to school too. That's where him and my sisters went to school. Jesse and Rhonda had to be in the 1st grade together because Jesse's birthday is in January. Rhonda's birthday is in September. By him being born in January, we have to be in school by October or something. They end up going to school together. coming to New York, living as a family, living all over New York, really. We ended up living at 515 Worth Street. 515 Thetford Avenue. Which incidentally turned out to be 515 Worth Street is where my mother and father ended up living, the same number. When my brother had anything that he wanted to talk about, that's the only time he ever called me. He never called me about any incidental things, only the important things that he felt that was important to him. That was his life with the one person that I know truly loved. I've never seen two people love each other so. It's him and Pat. I mean, I could hear her saying that, Jesse want this, and I gotta get this for Jesse. And him said, oh, I bought this for Pat, you know, like, oh, she can handle everything. That was their lifestyle. And when my brother says to me that he's ready to go be with her, you try to dissuade him from thinking like that, knowing that we all going to die. But he wanted to go right away. He did not want to be around here anymore. He refused to go to the doctor. He did not want to go. We could not make him go. In the end, when he felt his time, he himself took himself to the doctor because he knew it was the end. We always die alone, no matter what. We die alone. He took himself there to the hospital alone. And he called me to say goodbye to me. And he told me not to come to the hospital. And we always listened to each other, and I didn't go. When we end up going there, was to take him off the respirator. And sitting there waiting, and I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. After they took the tubes out, my brother opened his eyes, and he saw me, his son, and his daughter standing there, and a tear came to his eye. And my preacher said to me, Reverend King, she said, quote this, and I would like you all to say it with me. The 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepare the table before me in the presence of my enemy. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
I'm the brother-in-law. Jesse and I met in 1972. We formed a bond that we shared up until a couple of weeks ago. And then he was taken from us. But we loved one another. He took care of me, and I've taken care of him. And we had a bond that brothers would have instead of brother-in-laws. And we shared a lot of things. I'm here with his hat on, I'm wearing his hat, and I'm wearing his cane. And I'm gonna wear it until it falls off. I love my brother, and I'm gonna miss my brother. And that's pretty much all I can say. But Jesse, farewell, and I miss you, brother.
Growing up with my dad, I thought he was like the strict way. You don't gotta do show jokes. I thought he was like the strictest person in the world, but when you get a certain age, you realize that your parents, when they really care about you, they just making sure you're okay, even though you don't understand it at that moment. Anybody knows my dad, he's sharp. He will iron his pants for like 50 hours to have the sharpest teeth in the world. Weekends we cleaned up. Nobody lived in our house. Jesse was down south. My friends always said our house was like a museum because clean people. He had OCD. I don't care what it is. I'm grateful for the time that I got to be with him these last few years. I thank him for all the lessons he taught me. And at 49, when you still hear your parents say that they're proud of you, that's like a big deal. I miss you. It's hard. This is hard. I don't even know what to say. Just grateful that I had a parent like him.
Hello everyone, I'm Jesse's granddaughter, the oldest. I just want to say I'm definitely going to miss him. He definitely was tough when I was living with him, but he always knew the right things to say. Seeing him in his last pretty much days was really hard because it just taught me that I should have been there a little bit more. But he knows I love him. I said a prayer for him. And also, I'm just gonna miss him. And I wish I had more time. That's pretty much it.
I kind of like to echo what Jasmine just said. I wish I had more time. I didn't grow up with my father. I left early, and after I left, we didn't have much contact. We talked every now and then, you know, stayed in contact, but it wasn't probably what it should have been if he had raised me. But I still knew he was my father, and I still knew there were lessons I could learn from him. And yeah, he was tough. He was tough, and he didn't mince any words, and you know, he didn't care about your feelings, if you hurt your feelings, but he was going to tell you what was on his mind. You know, and you take it, or you don't, you know? Yeah, he was tough, but he had a lot of friends. Everyone loved him. And he was smart, you know, he was just so damn smart, you know, he stayed at the law library. And he would print the whole book on the copier. I know because it's in all those books are in his apartment now. I think one of the main things I take from my father, one of the main lessons is, I'll never forget that he told me, you don't own anything. You don't have anything. The only thing you really do own in this world is your name. So make sure your name is a good one when people speak it. And I think he really made a great name for himself. Because everyone that you speak to got nothing but good things to say about him. Everyone's gonna miss him, and everyone loved him. And I just wish I had more time to hear more stories, to learn about his life growing up, the things that he went through. But we don't. But I'm grateful for the time that we were able to sit down and talk to each other. You know, and I know that it made me feel good because I could see that he was proud of me. And he liked to tell people, he liked to introduce me as his son. And I could feel like, you know, that gave him a sense of pride. You know, he really was happy about that. And, you know, it made me feel good being introduced as his son, you know? Just having a dad after not having one for most of my life, you know? But he was a good guy, and I'm gonna miss him. And I'm gonna do my best to carry on the name. Thank you, everybody.
Amen.
It's not my day, but I can speak for my uncle. They say me. I used to be downtown, you know, doing what I do. Used to take care of my kids. And every day my uncle used to come and sit right there and watch me. He said, "This what you want to do with your life?" And I was like saying, "Look at all this money I got." He said, "Yeah, but what you gonna do when they take you away from here?" And I was like, "Deal with it." And then every day, the next day, he come right there and sit down there and say, "This what you gonna do with your life?" And I used to just move over here. And then the next day I come and he's sitting right there. I'm like, "Yo, he beat me here." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Because this is not how we was raised." I said, "So what you doing out here every day? You go to lunch on my break or you go to lunch on your break?" And he said, "I'm here because I'm supposed to be." And then I say, "Okay." And I go down there. And the next day, I ain't see him until he found out where I was at. And guess what? He be right there. He was like, "This what you gonna do with your life?" And I was like, "So what is I supposed to be doing? I don't have no GED. I ain't working nowhere." He said, "Did you try to get one?" And here you go. I'm gonna show you. He got all these papers. He had it all wrote down. He said, "Go here, speak to him. And if they don't answer, you call me and I call them." And he had it all mapped out. Didn't listen to him though. So I found a new place to go hustle. And guess what? He found where I was at. And he was like, "This what you gonna do with your life?" And I was like, "Wow, man." I said, "Give me them papers." And I called him. So the first stop is New York Restaurant School. And they accepted me. And I went half a day. Because the other half a day I had to go get me some money. And the half a day I was getting money, guess what? "I thought you were supposed to be in school." I was like, "How you know I was here?" He said, "I work right here. I watch you out the window every day." And he was a counselor in the drug program somewhere between 6th Avenue, 59th Street over there, Central Park. And so now I got to find me another. I went to Bryant Park. And he found out I was down there. So I went back to school. And between going to school, I got locked up, and so I had to go back to school. I ended up going to school, ended up getting a job, and it's been 30 years since I last been in trouble. And I really, really appreciate my Uncle Jesse saving my life. And I know it's different because I only have one uncle, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews, and we close, but we don't have that bond like it's supposed to be because I don't see them that much either. And it's because that's the way he gave it to me, and that's the way I know how to pass it on, but it don't supposed to be like that. And every time we end up together, it's because somebody left. And it kills me, so I always tell my mom, "I don't like these places, because this place is just creepy. And I love my family, but why we always gotta be end up like this?" And this is the only way the good Lord wants us to be, so this is probably gonna be in like this. If that's what it is, then what it is. But no, I love y'all, and I miss y'all. And if it's up to me, if I had something, we gonna be together in spirit, if anything. And that's what I got to say. I'm gonna miss my uncle. Thank you. Love you too, man.
To speak to y'all, I need the strength that only my daughter can give me. Right now, I'm hurt so bad that I don't even know what to do. But I love my uncle. I love my last name, and I'm gonna do my best to make him proud and all the rest of you proud. I truly miss and love everybody here. And like my brother, I don't want to just see y'all on no funerals. So every time I get some money, I'm traveling. I don't care where y'all at. North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm coming. I want to get to know my nieces, nephews, cousins, and all that. I'm not wasting the time I got left. I love everybody. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I have a little few words. I really don't know Uncle Jesse that well. I just met him for the first time a couple of months ago. My grandmother took me over to his house. He is a funny dude. Him and my grandmother, told me some stories and stuff. And once he put out that spliff, I was like, "Oh, you're my uncle, man!" Yes. Like, you'll come by and stuff. And we went to Applebee's. We ate. We was in there for like good 4 hours, maybe, just sitting there, just talking and laughing. And I'm just glad we just didn't take a picture. But pictures always stays in your mind. Memories always last forever. But I'm just glad that I've met him before he passed away and stuff like that. So, like anybody else said, give our flowers while we're here today. Because me and my grandma had to go get some flowers and we didn't get them when he was here. So, get the person the flowers while they're here today. And I'm definitely going to give my grandma some.
I'm OG, It's my grandmother's only son. Him and my mother, they used to have the same attitude. I was telling you, I said, I was always scared of him. We get into fights and arguments and stuff, and it was like, if mommy wasn't there, he was there. So if we got in trouble, all mommy would do was just look at us with them eyebrows. And I found out Uncle Jesse would do the same thing, and I was always scared of him. But I had talked to him a month ago when they say he got missing. And something kind of changed, because when they said that, I didn't want to put him where he had now, but it felt like my mother already had her arms open for him to come. And he told me, I said, Uncle Jesse, don't be doing that, don't be leaving. I said, I was about to walk and come and find you. He was like, come on, come on. And it sounds crazy, but I said, thank you, Uncle Jesse, because he brought me here for me to see him go home. We lived on the 6th floor, and they lived on the 5th floor, and I used to miss it because we would go down the fire escape and go to Uncle Jesse's house, and then we'd go and come back up to Mommy's house on the 6th floor. And I remember my sister, oh my God, she got missing. We didn't know where she went. She was a baby. And like when you put the crates, when you put your bed on the crates and stuff like that, Uncle Jesse said, well, she ain't go too far. She right there. She right there. I'm down on 112th Street, going to 10th Street looking for my little sister. And I go back upstairs and look in the room, and she was just like he said, she was up under the bed, hiding behind the crates. But it's I don't know. I don't know, it's just self-explanatory because I've been trying to come, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this. But he didn't play though, and he was he was sharp as a tick. He was mad debonair, you know. Everything. I don't remember the creases in the pants, and he was listening to Al Green. It'd be dark, and I used to think, yeah, you going through some recovery because you listen to Al Green and it's dark in the house, and you earning, So that shows all of us a little different, but we still alike at the same time. But I love y'all. We just got to do better on these visitations. Call somebody, no matter how mad you've been at them or whatever, no matter what it is, because I know we got mad love, we just don't know how to give it. Because we spent such time being in so much hurt, you get blind to the fact and you just forget on being yourself when we know we got it in us. I love y'all.
Hello?
Hey, Mo.
Mike J.
Okay, yeah, this is very difficult to do because my uncle got a bow tie on, y'all.
Always.
He kept a bow tie. That was his thing. I can remember living on 111th Street with Aunt Norma, with Aunt Rhonda, I'm sorry, and my uncle had just came home from incarceration, and he was very tough. And the first thing that he said to me, I think I was maybe 15 or 16 at the time, he said, Malik, you getting high? Because he might have heard some things when I was about 12 years old. My mother probably told him something, we experimented and things like that. And I told him, I couldn't lie to him. I said, yeah, I smoke a little before. And he said, you gotta cut it out. And I said, I will. And he told me to make sure that I get my life together. And he said, you are an extension to the family. So I remember my uncle just being very diligent in the ways that he used to talk to his siblings, because he was very concerned about our well-being. And from him being in the situation that he was in, from being incarcerated, he always wanted his family to not go the route that he might have went. So when I look at the times that he was here on the earth, I just feel so blessed to just have him as an uncle. And tell y'all a funny story. My dad, real quick, I ain't gonna take too much of your time, but my dad said he had shot himself in the leg because he wanted to come home and name his son, because he realized that everybody's name was Jesse. Okay? We had Jesse Jr., we had Jesse James, we had James Jesse, we had Jesse James, all kinds of Jessies in our family, and she could vouch for that. So my father said that he wanted to come home from being in Nam and change my name because he didn't want my name to be Jesse. So he did what he did and changed my name to Malik. But that's not to knock the name Jesse. That just would have been my name. I thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
hard. Jesse has been in my life as long as he and my mother were together.
We were teenagers.
And the thing is this, it was hard for me to go over there since my mother passed. Yo, so many different emotions, feelings, and just missing like her being there with him. And I'll be like, yo, Jess, you good? And he'd be like, I'm all right, Nick. And I'd be like, yo, Jess, you gonna live, you hear me? You're not gonna go home yet. But he was tired. And I just want to apologize to you, little Jesse, because I feel like I've been all over your neck. And it's only because it's like, yo, this is not real. But what I do know is like Beverly said, my mother was like, all right, come on, baby, come on home. And when I spoke to him that Tuesday, and he was like, you know, I gotta talk to you and Tanya and Jesse, because they're saying that I'm gonna need dialysis. And I was like, listen, you know what you gotta do, right? In my mother's voice. Because you gotta take care of yourself. And then when I went to see him, and the dialysis thing, like the blood didn't seem like it was flowing. I'm talking to these doctors like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, you know, I had to call Jesse at the time so that he could speak for him. Oh God. But God, I just thank God that they were able to be together because they loved each other. And when you see, even if you, like Jesse, the community knew Jesse, but they ain't really know my mother like that. But they knew Jesse and they loved him. And like the people that came out, they loved him and they wanted shopping cart. They like, listen, we need a shopping cart because they want to do something. They got candles up in the community. And all I can say is that he will definitely be missed. He played a part in my life, my children's life. And I needed to come up here and just say that. I love y'all.
I'd like to add, when my brother came home, when my brother was incarcerated, my mother refused to go and see him because she didn't raise any of us like that. He was the only one of us that ever did anything. He was with that, don't tell. He wasn't even supposed to go to jail. He went because he didn't tell. That's why he went, and my mother refused to go see him. When we finally, me and Shirley and Elaine finally talked my mother into going to visit Jesse in jail, we got lost going there. We got lost. So by the time we got there, our visiting hours had been turned down to a half an hour, which turned out to be a blessing for my mother and my brother, because when my brother came home, he went to school to become a lawyer. And I think during the time that he was going to school to become a lawyer is when he found out that he had cancer. And he didn't tell anyone. He didn't tell anyone all these years. He never told anyone. So when he was in remission, is when he met up with Pat. They both in recovery. And recovery, they started counting in years because after a while, the years didn't matter because none of them was thinking about ever using drugs again. They was getting on with life. They were getting on with life and loving each other and caring about each other. He was a counselor on 135th Street in the YMCA, 24 hours a day, until he couldn't be there anymore because he had to go back to the doctor again. And they helped him a second time. The third time, he couldn't be helped. And he kept that to himself also. But as long as him and Pat was there together, they each took care of each other, each went to the doctor together, they took care of each other. When Pat left him, he didn't want to go to the doctor no more. He refused to go. We could not talk him into it. When my brother says, when they announce that they're gonna pay what is it, for going to school, this back to school fund, tuition, and he had been paying it a little bit, he found his chance to get it paid up because he said he started hiding his SSI check because they would garnish it if they found out how he was getting money, you know. But that's the reason why he had all these law books. And I remember his lawyer friend kind of reminded me of one of the high school teachers that Michael had one time that wore these big shoes and always had holes in the back of his socks, back of his shoes, back of his socks, and his shoes was too big. He had a lawyer friend who wore that same kind of outfit, and they would walk to the library, to the law library when Jesse was studying, until he had to drop out because his cancer was getting really, really bad and he had to drop out. But that's the reason for all the lawyer stuff. Anytime you talk to Jesse, he talked lawyer to you. That's how he talked. Lawyer stuff about everything.
I definitely didn't want to come on these circumstances, but it's good to see family that I ain't seen in a minute. Just sorry, brother.
Yeah, man.
I think we all could relate to the fact that, you know, Uncle Jesse was solid. I just want to innovate on one thing. Gene used to always take me and Mo everywhere. And one of the spots we used to always go to was when Jesse lived, and I think it's
On 50th Street?
Well, by Soundview.
Oh, by Soundview?
Well, he had the crib by Soundview.
Sorry, yeah.
It's been a minute, y'all. I'm in the South now, my bad. You know what I mean? And he had mad books. Like, the only person other than Jesse, I thought that had books like that was like Granny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just mad books. And I would, like, mess with his books and look at the books when I was a kid, so it didn't really dawn on me. But he used to always be like, yo, you gotta read. You gotta read. So I don't care what you do, just read something. Just read the newspaper. Just read something. So it's just, it's bad to have to see y'all on these circumstances. You know I love you to death, and I try to call you all the time. But I don't like coming to funerals. You know what I mean? Anybody who know me know what's up. I ain't coming around for this kind of shit. Excuse me. But I'm glad to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm sad to see my uncle go. He's with my mother now, my aunt, and other family members. But we can't keep waiting for this kind of shit. Like, this gotta be better. Like, we got to spend more time with each other. You know, it's my baby right here. Y'all don't know her, it's Kennedy. She look like my mother. And every day when I wake up and I see her, it's just a reminder. Well, Auntie, I love you so much. You know, I call you and I tell you that because it's the truth. You know, all of us had a chance to be with this person My uncle was only one uncle, so we had a bond with that. But as a family, can't be waiting to see each other because we don't got no promises. Only promises, like we said, we're gonna be in the same position one day. And I don't wanna be in that position and not tell y'all that I love y'all while I can. So these are my flowers.
Hey,
I'm giving you my flowers right now, all right? I love all of y'all, right? I love all of y'all. You know, yo, Gene, I love you, Gene. You know, you've been like a father to probably all of us in this room. You know, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. You know, let this be a lesson that we do learn that today just kind of don't gotta just be a funeral. It could be an awakening. You know, a blessing. Use the time. Use the time. You know, just use the time. That's all I want to say.
So, yeah, you start already. You leave me alone. You're gonna start me. I'm Beverly. Jesse's friend. I've heard from family, but he had friends too. I met Jesse through Pat, like Norma said. Pat sponsored me for 28 years, and she was in a relationship with Jesse when I met her, and she would tell me that he taught her how to love. Let me just say that he asked her a couple of times to marry him. And you know how we come with baggage and fears and, you know, not really knowing and trusting and all that other kind of stuff. And I remember one day she told me that he had asked her again to marry him. And I said to her, listen, what one won't, another will. And I'm not really sure how many times he need to ask you, okay? But you need to kind of fast forward, you know, how you really feel about this man, right? And just go on, and what she did. And I think it's been, you know, like 30 plus years that, you know, they were loving each other. You know what I'm saying? That was her husband. And you know, I can hear his voice in my head, Bev. He never said, I don't ever remember him saying my full name. It was Bev, and from what you guys said, and my relationship with him, like the old people used to say, he was a plain spokesman. He said what he had to say. He didn't pull no punches. And, you know, and that's what I loved about him. He was, you know, it was always like 100, like the young folks say. He didn't, you know, mess around with anything. And as a matter of fact, you know, with Pat being in my life, she had said to me, you know, why don't you, like, do what Jesse does? You know, and he had left Phoenix House and he was working at Cornerstone. I think that's the place the brother was talking about, 57 West 57th Street, right off 6th Avenue, Medical Arts. Yes, and you know, she said, why don't you, you know, like do what Jesse do, because, you know, there might be women at da-da-da-da-da, and, you know, I said, okay, I'm educated by profession, but she said, like, you know, you can do that as well. And he was instrumental in getting me my first job in drug treatment at Cornerstone Medical Arts. And that's been 25, 26 years ago, right? And just to fast forward, when Pat died,
he said to me, "Yo, Bev, I don't want to be here." You know, and when he said it, I knew that it was just going to be a matter of time. I knew it. He just didn't want to be here without the love of his life. That's what he said. And his behavior showed it, because I heard you guys say he shut down everything. Because he was going to doctors and appointments and treatments and all that kind of stuff to be here with Pat. And when she died, he felt that he had no more purpose, because the love of his life had died. And he died like right before the new year, because I know he said, "I'm not gonna try to be here another year without her." That's who he was, and his will. And like when I found out that he died, I sent the text that said Pat came for her husband. You know, she had some business she needed to take care of before he got there. You know how, whatever that mansion business is. I don't know, I heard. You know, I just want to believe when we get there, right? You know, we got some folks, right? That we need to, like, you know, like say some things to, finish some stuff, clean up, you know, all that stuff, you know, and that's what she had to do. And, you know, and once that business was done, she came for her husband, you know.
My Jesse.
Yes. She called him Jess.
Yes, Jess.
She called him Jess. You know. I love that guy. Friend. Good friend. You know. Kept it real. I appreciated that about him, and you know, he ain't gotta limp around no more. How about that? You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to do none of that. You know, I'm limping. You know, I'm just saying. You know, because I got stuff to do. But, you know, he good. He good. His spirit is with the love of his life. And all those other people that have gone before us. Because at the end of the day, the truth is none of us are going to get out of this alive. And like the old people say, when the great getting up morning come, you know, you just got to answer to that number. You just got to answer to that number. So like the program that I live, it's a day at a time, right? Do the best you can in this day that we've never lived before, right? And, you know, and if I'm doing the best I can, there's no reason why I can't believe that everybody else doing the best they can too. And just love. Love and care. And most of all, forgive. Because if you don't forgive, you're dragging around a whole bunch of junk. A whole bunch of junk that gets heavier and heavier and heavier. It ain't that deep. It really ain't. Trust me. It's not that deep. Just, you know, like, find some fun. I'm going to end it with this. Find some fun and have it. Find some fun and have it. Because you deserve it. And of course, me too. I ain't going to give you what I don't have.
That's right, baby.
Me first. Yeah, you know. Thank you. Thank you for loving him, and, you know, and everybody be well. Take it easy.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I love you back.
He's my favorite uncle. He's everybody. He was just a
does. Just one of the best people you could ever meet, to ever have in your life. I got so lucky for my little time to spend with Jesse when he was a little person. And we got to be down south with Abuela. You know, we get be able to have that special time that we had there. And then we could talk about our parents that we left up here in New York. But it's like, you know, even though Jesse knows his father wasn't around, he would always talk about him anytime he had a chance. He loved his son so much, and he loved all of us so much. He was just the sweetest person. It's just so hard. Are we gonna be all right? We're gonna be all right. I'm so happy to see all of y'all here. Even though we're here for this reason, it's supposed to happen this way. So that we can do this, and hopefully, you know, going forward, we all see each other more often than we're doing for these right now. I love you, Uncle Jesse. I love you forever.
I'd like to thank everybody for their words, their memories. Should be wrapping this up soon, so I just really want to give my thanks out to everyone. I have a lot of people to thank. I want to start with Norma. Thank her for being strong for me, giving me strength. I could feel the strength coming from her into me. And I love you, Dad. And I want everybody to know, you know, we have only Norma and Uncle Gene left. And it's our duty to take care of them. It's our duty to call them. And it's our duty to make sure they know that we care for them and that we love them.
Talking right.
Before it gets to this point.
That's right.
I'd like to thank Liz for being with me, for her always, you know, just making sure I'm all right, you know. I'd like to thank my niece and my nephew, you know, keeping me smiling, you know. I'm proud of y'all, really am. I can't even express how much I'm proud of you. I love you, I really am. I'd like to thank my little short sister. She keeps me smiling, she keeps me laughing, you know, I love you. I want to thank all my family who came out here today. You know, I know a lot of you came from a long distance, and I know it wasn't easy. I really didn't expect, you know, some of you guys to come, but you made it, and, you know, it's a great surprise. Next, I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank Uncle Bobby, Uncle Pumpkin. They helped make this day possible, you know, because this whole week has been a stress for me, because, like, I woke up every day thinking, well, how's this going to get paid for? You know, I don't have that much money. This is a lot, you know? And so I really would like to thank Uncle Gene and Uncle Bobby and Uncle Pumpkin and everyone else who made donations, you know, to the GoFundMe. They sent me money via Cash App, via Venmo. I have co-workers. You know, it's just, you know, I've been feeling a lot of love this week and a lot of support. So I just want to let everyone know that I really appreciate you. And it really has meant a lot. It's helped. He's a good man, you know. He had his troubles, but I was proud of him. You know, I was very proud of him. You know, you go from using drugs to being a drug counselor.
Talk about it.
And you're helping people. You know, it made me feel good to talk about him.
That's right.
You know, because I was able to say, you know, he overcame.
That's right.
And then he started helping. You know, so I'm very proud of him, and I hope he was proud of me as well.
Yes.
I love you, and keep the name going. Hopefully keep you proud. Thanks everyone, I love you.
Love you.
Isn't that great? You know, going fairly well.
Yes, that's it. Thanks for coming.
Fairly well. If anyone would like to take a flower, feel free to do so.
Yes, and please make sure you sign in and take a prayer card. Thanks.
Oh, this one is heavy. Take a flower, baby.
No, what, tissue.
Show me one.
Yeah.
Brand new one.